this is the place where you could be raw, you can be real. That's why this is very sacred. Be true, be honest. And you will slowly start to see those feelings of maybe discomfort start to soften, start to dissipate. Start to deepen your breath now, please. Deeper inhale, expanding through the ribs, more laterally into the side body. And then exhale a little bit longer to release any mental tension, physical tension. You can even exhale through the mouth a couple times. The very beginning part of the yoga is a little bit challenging sometimes to get the mind to cooperate. So you can start to bring in your own personal mantra, whatever it is that you're trying to cultivate more of. I am health, I am strength, I am peace, I am love. And stay with this nice deep breath, just a couple more rounds. This is basic abdominal breathing. It's important to establish this way of breathing first before we jump into any other types of pranayama. Just like Tadasana is the basic pose that every pose comes from in our asana practice, basic abdominal breathing is the basic breathing practice that every breath comes from. Relax those shoulders, relax your face. Okay, and now we're ready to jump into that Nadi Shodhana. Just block off the right nostril and inhale deeply through the left side. Hold the breath in at the top. And then block off the left side and open up the right. Exhale nice and long and steady through the right side. Hold the breath out just for a moment. And then inhale through the right. Hold the breath in. And exhale through the left. Hold the breath out. Inhale left. Holding that breath in, and exhale right. Hold it out. Inhale deeply right. Hold. Exhale left. Hold. Inhale left. Hold. Exhale right. Pause. Inhale right. Pause. Exhale left. Pause. Inhale left. Pause. Exhale right. So you have the idea. Keep it going. I'm going to set a little timer so we stay on track. Really give ourselves plenty of time to practice this breath. Keep it going. You're just breathing in and out both sides, switching sides. And we just have 2 more minutes of practicing this. Give it some time to really help our mind to become more neutral, a little more balanced. And even begin to sense the texture and the temperature of how the breath feels as it comes in and out the nostrils. shoulders and renew the length of your spine so the spine is free and clear. The channels are open. We have about 10 more seconds, so let's take one more round. And finish up, if you can, exhaling through the left side. And once you're complete with that, just place your hands in your lap with your eyes closed. We're emptying out so that you can fill your cup back up with whatever it is that you want to fill it up. And with your eyes closed, start to think about whatever your morning was like, how difficult it was maybe for you to create this space, all of the to-dos, and give yourself a moment to think about it and think about what you have to do when you leave here. Go ahead and allow your mind to entertain that. And then now begin to let all of that just fall to the side, just fall away. Any unnecessary noise or thoughts, just let them go by the wayside. Giving yourself full permission to indulge in this nice, nourishing, gentle practice. We're nourishing ourselves on every level when we practice, not just the physical body, but also giving the mind a deep rest. We're training the mind. We're actually, the way we create strength in the muscles in the body, we're actually creating strength in the mind as well, to be able to concentrate, to focus, to choose thought patterns. And then let's bring the hands together at the heart, just to set this intention for your practice this morning. What is your word? I am. I am health. I am peace. I am calm. I am grounded. Whatever word that is going to help you, whatever you're trying to feed. And as you start to think of things and being drawn away from what's happening right now in this moment, just bring that mantra in. I am whatever your word is. Namaste, everyone. And then let's go ahead and lie down and make sure you have your straps or whatever is like a strap, and a blanket you might need a little bit later to create more cushion for your knees as we come to the floor. And then a couple blocks if you have them. You can do without them too, but if you have them, that would be great. Even a cushion from the couch or something like that, a rolled up blanket, those will all be good for blocks too. A couple cans, water bottles. We get creative. Okay, and then once you're lying down, just lie flat if it's comfortable, or you can bend up the knees, and if your low back has any kind of soreness or you have any injuries that you're nursing, you can just bend up the knees. But just be comfortable. And continue to breathe deeply and slowly, creating a nice steady cadence with the breath. And then let's take a deep inhale through the nose and open up the mouth and sigh it out. Exhale. And then on your next inhale, let's reach the arms up towards the ceiling and reach them all the way back behind you. So you feel your ribs opening, you feel that separation, stretching through your toes, stretching through your fingers. And then maybe you yawn and stretch, just a little freedom to start to open up the body. On your next exhale, we'll bring the arms back up again, and then all the way down alongside the body. So let's create a nice rhythmic flow with that movement. As you inhale, reach the arms up, and all the way back behind you. Flex your toes at the very end so you create some firmness with your legs. And then as you exhale, reach the arms back up and all the way down. So continue that on your own, and if your knees are bent up, you don't have to worry about flexing your feet, obviously. You just reach the arms back and let them come back up and down. So we want to make sure that you're meeting your body where it is today. And that's why there's lots of options, lots of different variations. Keep this going just so you create a nice flow with the movement and the breath. This is the first step of training the mind, just to stay connected to the breath. And your body speaks to you in this language of sensation. So listen to what is the body telling you. Honor it. Meet the boundary. Don't force beyond it. Let's do one more round here. Just breathing a little deeper if you can. Sending lots of oxygen and nutrients all around the body, to the different organs, the muscles, the tissues. Good, and then now let's bring that right knee up and interlace right below the knee, squeeze down into that hip, and just circle that right ankle several times, one direction. What are you feeling in that right ankle? Stay connected to that. Don't think about your shopping list, and just doing this movement as if you're checking it off the list. You're really spending some time here with your body. Very best friend, a very wise teacher. Then let's go the other direction with that ankle. You might notice it makes a little noise. Mine just let out a big crack. That's a good thing. And then relax the ankle and move into that right hip, thigh, and just circle into that hip joint. Now this can be very big and dynamic if you feel good with that, or you can keep it very conservative in the movement if it's feeling a little tender, sore. I find that oftentimes it is sore in that area. These are a lot of important things there that live right there where the leg connects to the torso. There's glands and junction points, connective tissue. Okay, let's go the other direction now. Circle the other way several times. Squeeze straight down into that hip, relax the shoulders back and down. Create a little bit of constriction there. You're pooling the blood there, kind of like a tourniquet. And then let's reach for the strap if you're using one, or a large towel, or if you can reach up for your big toe and you don't hike up the shoulders or around the spine or create any more tension or pain, you can hold on to the big toe. That's not for everybody. Just some of you might have that available and some of you may not. It doesn't matter. Okay, and then just meet that resistance in the back of that leg with compassion, not forcefulness, not aggressiveness. But just meet that resistance wherever it is. And let the body adapt to the shape. hold these poses just a little bit longer because it does take at least 30 seconds, at least, for the body to get the picture, for the muscles to unwind. So give yourself some time. Try to become as still as you can. And then that stillness becomes this doorway, an entry point to deeper dimension in the mind and the body. To that greater depth within. And the last stage would be to surrender into that stretch. Just surrender, relax the shoulders. Allow yourself to become present with all of the different sensations. Good. Now let's take that, strap that leg and bring it out to the right. Keeping your left leg active, not forcing or gripping, but just active. Just so that you're aware that it's awake and it's keeping you anchored in the left side. As you reach that left arm out, you're reaching that right leg out and they move in the opposite direction. Left arm, right leg stretch away from each other. Maybe your mantra is, I am open. I'm open to receive. I'm open to grow. I'm open to learn. Good. Then let's inhale your breath as you come right back up through center. And then take a hold of the strap in that left hand. And start to cross the body, reach the right arm out. And now your right leg, right arm is moving away from each other. This might be a little sharper of a sensation. A lot of density in that hip, right? We have a lot of muscle tissue there, so give yourself the time, be gentle. Stay present, stay out of judgment and criticism of where you think you should be or where you used to be. All of that doesn't matter. Just be where you are and be okay with that. Start to create peace around that. Then on your next inhale, bring your leg back up through center. And I just want you to let that leg relax all the way down next to that left one. You can shift your body, make sure you're nice and long on your mat. And I just want you to feel the difference between the right and the left side of your body, your leg. Good. Moving to the left side, let's bring up that left knee, interlace the fingers right below the knee, and then just circle the left ankle. Again, relax those shoulders, the neck, the face. Try your best to give yourself permission to not think. And that is kind of a funny concept, right? Because the mind's natural, tendency is to think. It's creative. It's thinking about this and that. So you just bring yourself into that mantra. Give it the distraction, like the 2-year-old child. and then go the other direction. And when you give your mind that new distraction, that new focus, that's the beginning stage of concentration, the beginning stage of emptying out so that you can become more still for meditation. Start baby steps. Okay, relax the ankle and move into that left hip. Circle in the left hip joint. This side might be more sensitive. It might be less sensitive. Just observe. Don't judge. And then let's circle the other way. Just reverse it. This is a really lovely practice, but it can be challenging to slow things down, to slow the mind down, to give it a new focus. This is the training. This is the training of the mind. It's like a muscle. And if it's really challenging for you, it just means that you really need this work. Okay, let's squeeze down into that left hip, relax those shoulders. Try to extend the back of your neck a little longer by bringing your chin down slightly. And then let's take that strap or hold on to the big toe on this side. And again, just meet that resistance with gentleness. And respect the boundary. Keep bringing yourself back. We're going to be here a little bit longer. Stay with the sensations. Stay with your breath. And let's take it to that second stage. You're going to hold on to that strap and reach that right arm out to the right as you bring the left leg out to the left. And they move away from each other. Firm the right leg just by flexing your toes, flexing your foot. How does this side feel? Guys, inhale, come back up through center and prepare to cross the body. So hold on to the strap or the foot toe in the right hand and reach that left arm out. So move slowly than you normally do. I know we have visited these postures a lot, quite frequently in our practices. So there's a tendency to go on autopilot. Oh, I've been here before, I've done this before. But keep in mind that your body's different every day. So that's why the yoga practice never gets boring or stagnant, because your body's different every day. So you could experience the same posture in a very different way from day to day. So be open to receive where you are right now. through center. And then release that leg all the way down next to the right one. Get yourself back straight on your mat. Take a deep, full breath there. And then bend up your knees, please. Place the soles of the feet onto the mat underneath your knees, about hip distance apart. And we're going to isolate the lower spine. So this is often referred to as pelvic tilting, or just tilting the pelvis forward and back. And you'll feel your lower back in the natural curve, and then you'll flatten out the back, taking that curve away. So just do that a few times on your own. You're going to roll to the sit bones, letting the lower back lift, and then press into the sacrum, allowing the lower back to flatten. And this is really wonderful to loosen up the low back and nourish the low back. If you have any kind of issues going on in that region, this will feel really good. Just taking that pelvic tilting a few more times, forward and back. Pay attention to the subtleties. What are you feeling? Good. And then now we're going to take it into a full bridge. So peeling the hips up even more. You're going to roll through the mid-spine, all the way up to the upper spine. Lift the chin gently out of the throat so you have space in the back of your neck. At your highest point there, lift the chin, and then lower one vertebra down at a time. So we're going to move through each and every vertebra, nourishing our spine. Make sure you roll to the front of the sit bones, get that lower back release at the very end, and then press into the small of your back and peel the hips all the way up into the full expression of bridge. And then all the way back down, placing one vertebra at a time down. I love this work with the spine. And let's keep that going just a few more times. And if you're ready to build on the breath, this will be great. Inhale fully as you lift up, and exhale completely as you lower down. And we'll just do that a few more times, connecting to each part of our spine. It should feel really good, kind of like a massage. Let's do one more. Nice, and then once you're complete with that last one, just gather your knees into your chest. And separate your knees out to the side. Hold onto your knees. Pull the knees out to the side and then circle around and back together. So these are frog circles. Just circling in the hips, and it creates a little more space in the low back. And then reverse that circle, go the other way. Remember to go slower than you want to today. Stepping out of that fast pace mode that we get into a little slower pace. Good. Now just bring the knees together, side by side, feet side by side. Bring your arms out wide into cactus. So bend your elbows so the chest is open, the palms are facing up towards the ceiling. And now I want you to go back to gluing the small of your back down. Seal it to the mat. So you feel your abs in your core, midsection, start to activate, start to turn on. And then bring those knees over to the right. You're just going to hover them above the floor, keeping your left shoulder down. And then coming back through center on the inhale. And exhale, hover over to the left, keeping your right shoulder blade down. And do that now on your own, just side to side. We're just starting to get a little bit more energy, more strength, more activation in the core. If you're feeling strong, you can take those knees even closer to the floor, but don't let them touch. If you're not feeling as strong, the movement will be just less dynamic. If you're feeling really like you feel strong today, you can straighten the legs, and that will add in a whole different dimension, a whole different level of intensity. So that's totally up to you. Let's do one more round side to side. Good. And then come back to center. And let's just bend the knees. Bring those knees back into your chest here for a moment. Take a deep breath. Relax. And then bring the arms alongside the body. And straighten those legs straight up towards the ceiling. Okay, so we're going to keep the upper body out of this as much as possible. Glue, seal the low back to the mat, flex your feet. And as you exhale, start to lower the legs. Keep your focus on the navel point. Keep the navel back towards the spine. Once the low back starts to lift, that's pretty much your threshold. Point the toes, lift your legs back up again on the inhale. So that's our movement. Flex your toes, exhale as you lower the legs, relax the shoulders, keep the low back flat, point the toes and inhale, lift. Keep that going, and you can go down until you hover an inch off the floor if your low back stays flat. But if it doesn't, that's okay. Just lower the legs a little bit. Everyone's going to be a little bit different with this. But everyone can get maximum results, maximum benefit, just by doing what you can do. Keep it going. We still have about 30 more seconds to do this work. And it's really awesome because it's targeting the whole core from top to bottom there. And get a lot with this one movement. Okay, last 3, 2, and 1. Good. Hug the knees in. Take a breath. Maybe massage your low back side to side. And then place the feet back down onto the floor, hip distance apart underneath your knees. And come into bridge pose. Maybe walk your shoulder blades even closer together underneath you. Some of you may be able to interlace the hands and press down into the base, which would be the arms, the shoulders, the feet, the back of the head. And then everything else lifts up. Hold there for 3 or 4 breaths, just nice and steady breathing. Good, and then releasing all the way down. Good, and then let's roll onto one side and prop yourself up into, this is called a reclined Buddha. take my blanket here. I'm going to cushion my bottom hip here. You may want to do the same. We've done this before. We call it slouchy pose. I don't really know the name of it, but we call it slouchy pose. Because you're doing just that. You're kind of slouching into that shoulder. And what you're targeting is the serratus muscle, the lats, the ribs, the intercostal muscles, all of this underneath here that gets very tight. So start by seeing where you are. Your elbow and your shoulder will be aligned. And then stay lifted for a moment. So I want you to feel the difference. Press into that forearm so you're lifted. And now allow the ribs to melt towards the floor. Allow the shoulder to creep up by the ear. One of the few times I would say this is okay to do. Normally we want to create space from ear to shoulder, but I want you to actually close the gap there. Kind of sink into it, and you'll feel a nice stretch. If you don't feel it and you want more, then you can move your hips away from that elbow, away from that forearm, and then melt back into it. Try to let your head relax without creating any more tension in the neck area. So this could be very intense for you, then this is a good place to just stay and allow the tension to release, allow the muscles to soften. If you want a little bit more, if you're ready for that, you can extend your top leg out in front of you and let it relax. And then bring that bottom foot up to your top hand here. You can hold onto the foot and let the foot relax into the grip, into the hand. So your hand's just there as kind of a hook. You're not holding or gripping. Just let it hang in your hand. And if that's not feeling good, just go back to the first step. And stay open. Stay a student, a beginner's mind. This idea of always being a student, learning about your body and where you're holding stress. It's really valuable information. I think any doctor will tell you that 90% of the cases they get is all from stress-related problems. So anything you can do that helps to balance out and to learn how to deal with stress a little bit more optimally is going to be of great benefit to our whole health and well-being. Okay, good. So let's just ease out of this. I'm just going to push up into a seat. Whew. Seems easy, but that is a pretty strong stretch. And then let's come into the other side. So just flip around or roll onto the other side. And let's see how this side is. So get it set up. Let's really connect to that lift up. And then start to melt your ribs down. Let that shoulder creep up by your ear. And then make any adjustments if you need to move away or move closer so it's more comfortable.
Cherie.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
Your camera is tilted up a little bit, so we can't totally see you on the ground. It was okay, but thank you.
Got it.
Love
Thank
you.
you. Appreciate that. Oh, there I am. Okay, thank you for that. Okay, so once you're in that position, just go ahead and let yourself surrender. And then if you want to take it a little stronger, remember you can extend that top leg, catch the bottom foot. That really does intensify it, so you're not alone if you're feeling that really gets in there when you hold on to that foot. It's interesting. Wow, wow. I really love this pose. If you ever feel the urge to make noise, don't suppress that. You should allow the body to release that noise, that vibration, that sound. That's the body's way of getting that out. So what side do you feel that's tighter? For me, it's this side, for sure. So just notice it. Okay, and then we're gonna ease out. If you have the foot, let it go. And you're just gonna roll onto your belly now. So go ahead and just flip over and come into Sphinx pose. And the blanket could be nicely right underneath your hips if that feels good for you, or you can move it off to the side. But let's lift up out of the shoulders here. So no slouchy, lift up, shoulders drop back and down, draw the chest forward. Legs are energized, but not gripping. Good, and then let's come all the way down and bring the arms all the way back behind you, alongside the body, palms face up. And then on your inhale, you're going to lift everything up off the mat that you can. Try not to throw the head back, but keep the chin slightly down so the back of the neck is long. And lift more from the heart area, the heart region, the chest. And then exhale, lower down, nice and easy, nice and slow with control. And we're gonna do that a few times. So we'll inhale as you come up, getting some energy, some strength in that back. And exhale, lower down. Good, a couple more. Maybe you can lift up a little bit higher each time. And maybe not, right? Just giving you some options. Two more. Nice, easy flow. This is also really good for improving our posture. Building strength around the spine. Last one. Okay, now I want you to come right back up again. Inhale takes you there. And then hold it here for 3 breaths. Don't hold your breath. Take nice, long 3 deep breaths. Stay lifted. One more breath. Inhale. And then exhale, lower down. Very good. Let's stack the hands underneath your forehead. Bend your knees and windshield wiper your legs side to side. Just allow your neck to relax. Good. And let's push back into child's pose. You can open up the knees a little wider. Big toes come together to touch, and then reach those arms out long in front of you. Resting your forehead down. If you need a little help, you can place a blanket or rolled up towel or a block underneath your forehead. It's going to be here for just a little bit. So allow that neck to be supported. Allow the head to be supported. Seems like child's pose is one of those poses that really nothing's going on, but there is so much going on. very deep knee flexion. You're really opening up the low back, and you're giving yourself a mild inversion by dropping your head down below your heart. So don't discount this pose as being therapeutic and really beneficial in so many ways. And now from here, let's take the hands, we're going to walk them over to the right and get a little bit more opening on that left side. And I like to bow my ribs out here. I like to push. I'm going to root my left hand and push my ribs out slightly. And that feels really good, opening up the side body. Good, and then let's come back through center and take it on over to the other side. And then again, you're going to reach that right arm away from that right hip and bow those ribs out a bit, if that feels right for you. You know, oftentimes in our yoga practice, the challenge isn't so much physical, but mental. The challenge to not allow the mind to plan in the future or dwell in the past, but just stay present with your breath and what's happening in your body right now. Let's come back through center on the inhale, and then come on up into tabletop and place the hands directly underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your sit bones. Let's move through some cat-cow. So let me just preface it this first. Sometimes, and some of you may be dealing with a lot of issues in the low back and it doesn't feel good to arch the spine, or it won't feel good to round the spine. So you can just do little pelvic tilting like we did on the floor on our backs. So you just little bit of movement. This is cat-cow until your spine is ready and it's healthy enough to go into a full rounded spine and a full, more of a back bend. So this is called meeting your body where it is. And that doesn't leave you out of any pose really. So go ahead and take your version of cat-cow, and you're going to take a few of them, and I want you to really think about syncing up the breath to the movement so that it becomes more like a meditative movement flow. Concentrating on this one movement, concentrating on what you're feeling in your body and the flow of the breath. That's all you need to do. Good. And keep that going just a little bit longer. The mind wanders. It does. It's okay. That's the nature of the mind. The practice is bringing it back. One more round. Good. And then come back into neutral spine. We're going to prepare for spinal balance, which is really good for the spine, as well as balancing and core. Take the right leg straight back behind you, toes facing down. Make sure the ribs are knitted up so that you have a lift and don't feel like you're sagging and collapsing in the low back. And then once you have that integrity, stretch your left arm forward right alongside your ear, neck is long. And just hold it with steadiness and ease with the breath. Focus on your mantra. Good. One more breath here. Inhale. And then go ahead and exhale. Set everything down and then circle out those hips. You can walk your slightly more forward to get bigger dynamic circles, if that feels okay for your body. And then let's go the other way. Everyone's prescription in yoga is different, right? Depends on what's going on with you personally. It's just like all medicine is not for everyone, right? Not every pose is going to be for everyone, but there's definitely variations. Make sure you go the other direction. If I didn't say that already, circle the other way. Really enjoy these circles, you guys. Good, and then come right back up through that tabletop and we'll take the other side. Left leg back, toes facing down. Again, you know, you can take the right hand to the bottom of the ribs and just encourage them to lift up and then lengthen that right arm forward. Stay strong in your limbs. Stay steady with the breath. Stay here, relax the jaw. One more breath here. And then set everything down. Good, back to your circles. Go the other direction. Good, and then come back into child's pose. We're gonna transition now into a very gentle flow. So on your inhale, draw yourself up to table. And then as you exhale, see if you can just bend your elbows straight back alongside your ribs. Your tail is high. Your chin and chest come down. And then push right back up into that table and then back into child's pose. So we're gonna do that a couple times. This is just building a little strength in your triceps here and core. Inhale up. Exhale, bend your elbows straight back, right alongside your ribs, chin and chest down, and then push with your arm strength right back up, and then back into that child's pose. Good, let's do that 2 more times, just to practice this. Ashtanga Namaskar, 8 limbs pose. Push right back up, back into child's. And once more, just do the best you can for today. Nice, and then now this time we'll take that Ashtanga Namaskar and then go ahead and lower all the way down, extend your legs back. Slide your hands underneath your shoulders and root those legs, your pelvis, as you inhale and peel the chest up into a cobra pose. So the hands, essentially, you could take them away. You're really using your spine strength and your leg strength. And then exhale, lower down. Let's do a couple more like that. Inhale, come up. Chest presses forward. Exhale, lower down. Make sure the shoulders don't creep up by your ears. They are relaxed back and down. And lower down. Good. Go ahead and stay down and reach that left arm out to the side. So palm facing down in line with your left shoulder. Walk that left hand away from the shoulder and then stack your right hip on top of your left. Allow your head to relax, to rest. Keep energy in that left arm so it's not just hanging out. You're not collapsing into the shoulder joint, but keep it somewhat energized with the muscle energy around the shoulder. Press into the palm, into the fingertips, just a little bit of energy there. And then get a sense of crawling that shoulder blade down toward your back pocket. Hold there. Be aware of all the sensations coming up. Listen to your body. What does it have to say? I'm, as a guide, I wouldn't even, in this context, wouldn't say a teacher, I would say a guide. Your best teacher is your intuition. And intuitively, some postures just don't feel right for you, and some postures do. So listen to your own intuition, your own inner teacher. It's just a very gentle reminder to pay attention. Pay attention to your body's feedback. Okay, that's enough of that side. Go ahead and come on back to the belly and then reach out with the right arm. And then go ahead and go to that right side. Walk it away from the shoulder and then stack your shoulders, stack your hips. Stay here, just a couple more breaths, and come back if you've shifted into thinking future, past. Just come back. Okay, good, that's enough of that one. Let's come back onto the belly, and then we'll push back into child's pose just briefly. And then we'll make our way into our first down dog. Can you believe that? Let's curl the toes under, lift up. I would like to offer a wider leg down dog, as that does help to, those of us that are feeling really tight in the back of the body, this will be more accessible. You can pedal out your feet if you like. You can hang in one heel to stretch out that calf muscle, Achilles tendon, and then switching sides. So just basically follow your own body's intuition here, your own instincts to move or not move. Sometimes I just like to be still, and sometimes my body's craving the movement. Good, and then from there we're going to walk the hands all the way back with your wide-legged stance here. Your feet should be about the width of your mat. And then you want to try to keep your toes facing forward as you drop your hips down from Malasana. And just do the best you can. There's a set of postures that are really specifically designed for our longevity. And this is one of them. Malasana is one of those postures that should be included daily. You can just do this anytime, you're in the kitchen cooking, just drop down in Malasana. I do it. My low back gets sore, and this really helps to stretch that out. And having said that, you might not be able to come down this far, and that's okay. You can just adjust for your own body wherever you are. Come up a little higher. Give your body a chance to adjust and adapt and release. Okay, bring the hands down, lift the hips up, and walk your feet in so that they're about hip distance apart. knees, soften those knees, and let the upper body just hang over the legs here. Let the head relax. You can use blocks if you need to, but I find that if you bend your knees, sometimes you don't really need the blocks. You can use your body to adjust. And now bring the hands on the hips and come up with a nice flat back until you make your way into Tadasana. So this is the foundational pose for every pose. And we're going to go into balancing. I feel like if we're having the theme of Dharana, which is the concentration, then we do need to bring in balancing, because this is the one time it really helps our focus and our concentration. Bring the hands to the heart center and establish your both feet firmly on the ground. Connect to those toes. You can lift and spread the toes so you have a nice foundation. This has a lot to do with trust as well. Trusting your standing leg, that it knows what to do to find the balance. Shift the weight to your right leg and anchor through all the four corners of your right foot. Spin your left knee out to the side, light on the toes. And then as you're ready, you can lift that foot and place it on the inside of the right calf muscle, ankle, or assist it all the way up into the upper right inner thigh. And then any expression that you would like with your arms, maybe you reach behind the back and interlace the hands, or reach for opposite elbows, forearms, or wrists. You can bring the hands to the heart, or you can extend them up towards the ceiling. But you'll notice that if you focus on anything else other than what you're doing, you might lose your balance. So stay present. This is the practice. And if you fall several times, just keep coming back. Good, you guys, and go ahead and release that side. Take the hands to the heart center. Take a nice centering breath. Exhale, maybe through the mouth, to release any tension that may have created. You know, balancing does create a little bit of a certain amount of stress. Now shift the weight to the opposite side. And as you're ready, spin the right knee out to the side, light on the toes. And then when you're ready, find your balance on this side. Doesn't matter if the foot comes high up into the upper inner thigh or just down by the ankle. You're still balancing, you're still practicing. One side will tell a story that's very different than the other side, so just pay attention to that. You guys, and then go ahead and release out of that. Hands to the heart again, take a nice centering breath. And then if you're not already, come up to the top of your mat. And we'll take a half vinyasa. We're gonna flow with the breath. Half vinyasa. Inhale, stretch the arms out and up towards the ceiling. You might want to give yourself a slight back bend there, and then exhale, come all the way down, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway, so reach that chest long, reach it forward. And then exhale, fold a little deeper. Strong legs, inhale, lift the chest and come up with a nice long spine. Bring the arms out and up towards the ceiling. And then join the hands together at the heart. So we'll do that 3 more times. Inhale, circle the arms, back bend or not. Exhale all the way down, straight legs or bent knees, whatever you need. Inhale, lift and lengthen your spine away from your thighs, and then exhale, fold a little deeper. 2 more times. Inhale, reach the arms out and up, scooping up all the good energy. Exhale, bring it right to your heart. Circle the arms, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. You're being guided by the breath. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Pull that breath down deep into the lower lobes of the lungs, and then exhale completely all the way out, forward fold. Inhale, rise. Scooping up all that good energy to the heart. Exhale. Moving on. Inhale, reach the arms out and up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold. Right leg back, the ball of the foot. And then we're going to come into a high crescent lunge. So just make sure that your feet are hip distance apart. You're not on a tight rope. And then sweep the arms up. And you want your hips, your shoulders, your ears to all be in the center line here. You don't want to lean forward or too far back. Bend that front knee, but keep the back leg a little straighter. Good, and then release the hands. Step back into plank pose, upper push-up position. Keep your feet together and just circle through the hips. So you're going to roll through the toes, press through the heels. Roll through the toes, press through the heels. And just do that a few times, just circling. It's good for core. It's good for your ankles, your toes. Go the other direction. Toes, heels, toes, heels. And then up to down dog. Separate your feet. Downward facing dog. On your next inhale, roll to plank pose. Shoulders stack right over the wrists. Exhale, up to dog pose. Lift the hips high. Let's do 2 more like that. Inhale, plank pose. Good for core. Exhale, dog pose. Once more. Inhale, plank. Also good for bone density. Exhale, up and back to dog. And now looking forward, you can walk up to the top or take a little hop up to the top of your mat. And then hands on your hips, press down to come up, Tadasana. Circle the arms out and up, big breath in, reach, maybe back bend. Exhale, dive forward and down, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen halfway. And then exhale, fold and step your left leg back. Remember, hip distance, not on a tightrope. When you're ready, you have stability. Reach the arms up towards the ceiling. Bend your front knee just a little bit deeper. Remember that pelvic tilt here? This is a good place to drop that in. So you're going to lift the pubic bone up towards the ribs so you have good stability in your low back. Good. One more big breath here. And then release those hands. Step back to plank again. And this time, take your right knee down and spin your back left heel to the floor. So you want to seal the outer foot to the floor. And take your left arm up towards the ceiling. So now we're in a modified Vashisthasana. If you want to challenge yourself, you can step that right foot underneath the left and come into a full Vashisthasana. That's going to be completely up to you, personal. Either way is great. If you're in full Vashi, go ahead and place that right knee back down. And then place the left hand down, left knee down. Circle out the hips 2 or 3 times one direction. And then 2 or 3 times the other direction. Good, and then from here, just keep your, what did I say? Left knee down, I think. And open up the right foot. So step that right foot back and bring that right arm up towards the ceiling. So this is a good place to stay, or stack your feet. So wherever you can manage to hold with steadiness and ease, that's where you need to be. We can handle stress as long as we do it in a calm way, right? The yoga practice is designed to create a little bit of stress so that you can learn how to breathe and stay calm throughout that. Beautiful lessons for life, right? On and off the mat. One more breath wherever you are. And then we'll place that bottom knee down if it's lifted. Take both hands down, knees down, and circle it back out. Good, and let's lower all the way down to your belly. So optional is to stay with Shalabhasana, lift the arms, lift the legs. Or bend your knees, grab the toes, and kick up. This is also one of those poses that's really good for longevity, for health, massaging and working with the visceral systems. Kicking up, and even if you're just doing that Shalabhasana, that's perfect. Good, and then release all the way down. Place the hands under the shoulders and then push yourself gently back to child's pose. From this child's pose, let's bring the arms alongside the body, let the forehead rest, and let your shoulders just roll forward. Very good, and then let's all take a seat. Take Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together. Allow your feet to be a little further out in front of you. Walk your sit bones back a little bit. And then on your inhale, lift and lengthen your spine. On your exhale, come forward and down. And you will allow your spine to round a little bit here. Lately I've been really enjoying placing a block right on my feet and just placing my head there. So if that's close enough to you, you can try that. You can even put the block up a little higher. What a nice pose this is, just to kind of rest and relax. Allow your shoulders to drop. Having support for the head is really important when we think about trying to relax the neck and the shoulders. So if you have something to support your head, this would be optimal. If not, and you're not quite even close to being that far down, that's okay. You have to start somewhere, right? So just try to relax the best you can. Good, and then we'll very gently move away from that. And let's take a wide straddle stretch. So I'm gonna take a seat on my rolled up blanket here. You could do the same. And then reach those legs out as wide as comfortable for you. And again, the block may be of use. You may not even be ready for it yet, but just in case, keep it close. And then bring the hands in front of you. You're going to firm up the legs, toes facing up towards the ceiling. Don't let them roll forward. Keep them facing up. So a little energy in the legs. And then walking the hands forward. If you've gotten to a place where you're rounding the spine quite a bit, then maybe just back off a little bit until you can get right on top of those sit bones. Lift up and lengthen the spine. Some of you may be able to be flat like a pancake, all the way reaching forward. Or maybe you're using that block. Just find your threshold, your boundary. Honor it and respect it. What is your mantra today? Bring it back in. What do you wish to strengthen? Do you want to strengthen health? Do you want to strengthen balance? Being more balanced in your mind, body, spirit, constitution? Do you want to be more peaceful, calm? So whatever it is that you're wanting more of, say you already are that. I am health. I am peace. I am balanced. I am strength. Turning to the mantra will help guide the mind and chatter. Guys, and then very gently, we're going to come out of that. I would take a little pause when you lift your head up. Coming out of that is really, it feels good, like a good sensation. Notice the calm. Okay, so now let's bring those legs together. You can still choose to sit on that blanket. Bring your legs all the way together. And then flex your feet, and then we'll just take a forward fold with your legs together. And again, I like to bring the block and place them right on my shins. But if you're not down there quite yet, you just stay lifted and find your boundary. And breathe through that. Make sure you're feeling something, but it's not causing more stress in the body. There's a fine line there at times. Take that block or two. You can even flip the block up onto a different level if you only have one block. And then just take your legs up. So letting the blood drain out of the legs, you're reversing that circulation and kind of bathing the digestive system, the heart, the brain, the lymph with fresh, oxygenated, nutrient-filled blood. Enjoy this little inversion. Stay present. Good. And then bend the knees, place the feet down onto the mat. You can stay here in a supported bridge and extend your legs out if that feels okay for your back. If it doesn't, just keep your knees bent or remove the block altogether. So just find a comfortable position. Bend the knees, and if you're not already, you can remove the block and just lie flat for a moment. And our last pose before Shavasana is Happy Baby Pose. So you can bend up the knees and grab the feet, and maybe take a wide straddle, or bend and straighten the legs as you rock side to side. Just whatever feels good for you. Then Shavasana. Before you go into Shavasana, I'm going to have you say a mantra here out loud. Placing one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. At the end of this practice, it's nice to anchor it with these really beautiful affirmations. So repeat after me. Peace to my body. Peace in my mind. Peace always surrounding my soul. Good. And then make yourself comfortable, relax. Enjoy a nice long Shavasana if you have the time. I'm going to go ahead and end the class and let you guys just rest and enjoy your weekend.